What's up everyone, it is I, Magician88, and today I am going to be streaming the last game of the best of 3. So we are going to go into this game, which is actually a replay. So yeah, alright, let's go. So in our bottom left hand corner we have Jayboc, who's actually called Jacob, funny enough. Yes, I'm guessing. So it's Jayboc, our red Zerg, and our purple Terran, which happens to be our purple Protoss, sorry, which happens to be PurpleDino. So if you remember what happened last, if you don't remember what happened last time, our Protoss player went for Immortals early and once again dropped the pylon at the back. Our Zerg player won the first game with Zerglings and Swarm Hosts, whilst our Protoss player won the second game by engaging our Zerg player at a very good angle, and our Zerg player just didn't have enough to respond. So we're going to bring up the production tab in this new UI. Sorry, 3 drones and a pylon. So actually, this is pretty normal play. Once again, both games our Zerg player has expanded out after a spawning pool, but our Protoss player has expanded after a pylon. So I think this is what we'll be seeing again very soon. Yeah. So as we wait, it looks like some other people are going to be playing their games this afternoon, which is very exciting. So hopefully I'll be able to record them again and then post them onto YouTube. So that'll be pretty good. Looks like these two overlords are going to be scouting in much more or less the same direction. I believe this map is Newkirk City, which we are playing on. So, yeah, Newkirk Precinct. My bad. Yeah, it's actually right here. Okay. So already Nexus first for our Protoss player, and once again our Zerg player is getting his spawning pool up. It looks like he's also going to be expanding off the spawning pool, so that's good. Yeah. Once again our Protoss player goes for a late forge. I should probably move to about here. Yeah, looks like he's gonna go for a late forge. So actually, no, that doesn't make any difference. Okay. So this play has pretty much been the same throughout all 3 matches. Then it'll be interesting to see what happens as both players do almost the same thing. I would have preferred if they could sort of change it up a little bit, but now our Protoss player is going to go for a sort of a late scout, which is exactly what he did before. Overlord, of course, going to see the cannon at the gateway as well, so that will be all good. Our Protoss player once again going for double gas, so it's actually what he's doing is almost exactly the same as what he did last time and the time before. So his Nexus is up already. It's actually a little bit before our Zerg player's hatchery. He should be going around to set up his third, which our Protoss player would have spotted already with his probe. Looks like our poor Overlord got shot twice, 3 times by the cannon here, which does 20 damage by the way. So yeah. By the way, the insights that I give towards each match, take it with a grain of salt, because half the time I actually don't know what I'm talking about. But that's just how I see it, and I think it might make sense, it might not make sense, but if it doesn't, then yeah. It's all cool though, it's all cool. Cybernetics 4 is already down for our Zerg player, so he's actually chrono boost, well he accidentally chrono boosted without building anything first. So he's going to get out his Stalker very quickly. Wolf Grid research once again being taken, which is pretty standard. Looks like our Protoss player is literally doing exactly what he did before. He's getting a Robo facility very early versus Zerg. He hasn't got a second gate up either, so I think that's, once again, I'm a little skeptical of how this works, but it seemed to have worked last time, so it seems to be okay. One thing to point out is that our Zerg player is finally getting gas, which means which means that he's going to get some very late roaches, but he's also not going to get speed for quite a while. But seeing that he's getting double gas, he should be able to get speed soon, assuming he doesn't decide to get speed, which I'm guessing he will, because, well, has our Zerg player actually scouted the Robo facility? No, he hasn't, so you won't know anything about that. So I don't particularly think that our Zerg players style of not getting gas and not getting speed is very good. I think speed is something that you should get, especially against a Protoss player who decided to get Immortals 3 times in a row. So I think because Immortals are not as cost efficient versus Zerglings, but they still do 20 damage, so they still end up two-shotting Zerglings. So obviously you want to close the gap between your Zerglings and your opponent's army as quickly as possible. Looks like early layers coming up, which I think is a little bit different from what our Zerg player did last time. Speed is being researched already, so that's pretty good. It's only just started, so it will take some time before our Zerg player gets his link to do something useful. Alright. So it looks like there's not going to be any engagements for a little bit as our Protoss player tries to mass up a bit of an army, getting some sentries, which is always a good idea versus Zerglings. If you get the right force fields, you can block your opponent's Zerglings from hitting your army, or you can block them, or you can surround your opponent's Zerglings with the force fields, and then they cannot run, and then you can just shoot them all. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Once again, a Mothership Core is going to come out for our Protoss player, and also a Warp Prism. So this is exactly the same build almost from our Protoss player. He did sort of change it from the first game to the second game, where in the first game he built some Zealots as well, but for this time he's stuck to just Sentry, Stalker, Immortal with the Mothership, and of course a Warp Prism. So our Zerg player is going to scout, and well, he's actually going to find that there's no army, and he's actually going to send his Zerglings into. Well, it looks like our Zerglings are just going to run by, but of course the Mothership spots the army, and already, I don't think our Protoss player is paying that much attention, but these force fields are doing very, very well, so obviously getting a lot of sentries is always a good idea. Once again, Swarm Host coming out from our Zerg player. I think this may be a little too late. But in this case, I don't see what he can do otherwise. He's going to borrow them now, and remember, oh no, he's actually rallied the Swarm Host in the wrong direction, so the Locust will not be able to back up the Zerglings. Will not be able to support the Zerglings at all. But I do like this creep spread. It's definitely going to give our Zerg player a lot of vision. But anyway, so here comes the Locust, but it looks like Enduring Locust has not been finished yet, which means there will be a period of time where our Zerg player is sort of incredibly vulnerable. Bit of micro from our Protoss player. You can see it's 103 supplied, 109 supply, 109 supply to 84. The 20 supply lead. I think our Zerg player has just simply not built enough. Building a lot of static defense is good, but when you have Immortals in your army, the static defense is really no problem. I think we'll be seeing a GG very soon. This is like exactly what happened last game, where our Protoss player attacked the natural instead of the third. The engagement has been very favourable for our Protoss player, and I think our Zerg player has nothing to respond. And it is GG, which means it looks like then that our Zerg player is going to be down a game, as our Protoss player has in fact won 2 games out of 3. So he moves on to, well, he doesn't really move on to a second round. We just move into next week, where he has an extra point towards his name. So that's pretty much it for this round of 3. Some good play from our Protoss player, and some I think some pretty good play from our Zerg player as well. I think though changing the strategy would have probably helped our Zerg player a lot if he went for something else that didn't require that much tech, like Hydras, for example. It could have actually favoured him a bit more, I guess. I don't know. But okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I guess I'll just do the usual. Subscribe to my channel for more of this tournament. More tournament action. You can follow me on Twitch if I ever decide to stream, which I probably will eventually. And you can follow me on Twitter because that's apparently the fastest way. No, that's apparently the most efficient way of knowing when I post things. So, until next time, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.